Jana Yamuna Tiravanajari
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanajari
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Jai Radha Madhava Bihari Janavallabha Vardhari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Nitai
Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol,
Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai
Srila Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Jaya Jaya Shripad, 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 Srila Shripad. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Srila Gurudev. Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol.
Jai Gauranga Premanande, Hari 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 Bol. Bolo Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Nitai Gauranga Bhagavan, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to this transcendental arrangement of cultivating Param Dharma, which is called Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma, Param Dharma means where we cultivate ultimate duty. We perform many duties, but Bhagavad Dharma means our ultimate duty, which is the prerogative of every human soul. How to attain perfection in that our ultimate duty, or that duty which defines the human being. How to attain the perfection of our human potential. That is the subject matter of today's discussion. I'm very thankful to the host families. Welcome all of you. So we will take in foundation a point to begin with, where Srimad Bhagavatam, the ultimate scripture or the evidence, Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatradaro Napara. For the ultimate good for the human soul. And that's why, as a human being, we come in this world with a very specific obligation to fulfill. If some speciality or some special thing is given to us, it is not given for free. If a child is born to a king, he eventually would be trained to become the next king. Just by being born to a king doesn't automatically makes him the next king. He has to fulfill the obligation, requirements, and many training and everything. So as a human being, we are all endowed with this facility whereby we can be modified. Now, main modification means one who does not need any correction, or in other words, when we say that one who makes no mistake. From that viewpoint, what is the difference between God, a saintly person, a human being, and animal? Keep this question in the thought. Then we will find that our obligation as a human being is so significant. We could not fulfill that obligation during innumerable times we received this opportunity. No matter what happened in the past, if we can capture the moment in our present life, we will transcend, or we will just get over with all our failures in the past. Why to brag about the past failures? Let us make today the full success of this opportunity. So if God is one who makes no mistake, from that point of view, we have to find out what is the difference between God, a saintly person, or one who is devoted to God. Let us give in that connection. One who is fully devoted or dedicated to God. A human being and an animal. Can you think of the difference between the four? So in that scale, as you say, God who makes no error. So means who needs no correction is God, correct? One who has been corrected, or rather one who does not repeat one's mistake. To err is human. As a human being, a saintly person is also a human being. So what is the difference between ordinary human being and a saintly person? A saintly person is one who is so determined not to repeat one's mistake. So to the extent one has become determined not to repeat one's mistake, one has become saintly. To become free from making mistake. Most mistakes we make due to ignorance. But when we understand that in ignorance we did something, now we are in knowledge. Human being means to be on the platform of knowledge. And when we acknowledge that this is wrong, or I have committed wrong, I will not repeat it. To that extent, one has become saintly. Human being is one who makes mistake. There is a saying that one should learn from one's mistake. So there is a big joke. A father was rebuking his child. My child, I told you 100 times, you should learn from your mistakes. And the too smart child said, okay, father, I will keep committing them. You got the joke? Because you say, I should learn from my mistakes. So I have to keep committing and to keep learning. That is not the purpose. The whole idea is a human being, he makes mistake and he dies. It's okay. I hear people telling, oh, everybody makes mistake. What a big deal about it? People do knowingly and unknowingly. If you know something is wrong, if something is a mistake, then you should stop. One time, second time, 2 times, 3 times, going over speed on the freeway. I think 85, 80, 90. Nobody is behind. I'm very smart. One time, or you pass through the traffic light, red light. Nobody's around. One time, second time, and you third time you will be caught, correct? You will get big citation. So who wants to face the citation, the penalty? So one can correct. That's why this punishment and this rules regulations is very important. One who can be modified one time, second time, third time he faces the consequences and okay, enough. I will not overspeed or I will not run to the red light, whatever. Simple example. So one who can be modified is called a human being. One who cannot be modified is an animal. Make sense? So this thing we will keep in mind. Ultimately, to begin with, we will take Srila Prabhupada's one sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, because everything we will discuss is based on the scripture, and foundation is Srimad Bhagavatam. In the third canto, 25th chapter, text number 20, it describes how to attain perfection of our human potential. And before that, Shukadeva Goswami, in the second canto, when he's addressing Parikshit Maharaj, and through Parikshit Maharaj to all sorts of transcendentalists, those who are Karmakandi, Gyankandi, those who have yogis and jnanis and dhyanis, different sort. And he has to establish the Param Dharma, the ultimate duty of the human being. Parikshit Maharaj, who is on the verge of death, is inquiring, what is the duty of the person who is on the verge of death, who is nearing departure from this world? Is he not addressing all of the concern of all of us? He had 7 days to pass, correct? How many days we have? Huh? Tomorrow, day after tomorrow. We also have only 7 days. Do we? Is there 8th day? What is today? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 7 days. One of the 7 days we will also depart. From that point of view, we should not be thinking, well, 7 days, I think I have many years to, but even within the years, it will be one of the 7 days only. The whole idea is now he has to address to the people who are so much situated in different convictions with regard to the definition of Param Dharma. How he has to now appeal to all of them. If the gathering is in the practice of so many different cultures and different processes of so-called spirituality, and now Shukadeva Goswami has to, it becomes very difficult. But how expertly Shukadeva Goswami does it is mind-boggling. So in the beginning of the third chapter of second canto, in replying to Parikshit Maharaj's question, he's telling that a person who is intelligent, buddhiman, one who is awakened in the spiritual awakening, then he will directly take to the process of pure devotional service. Smartavya, Shrotavya, Kirtitavyasya, Smartavya, Ichchata Abhayam, one who wants to become free from the impact of fear of death. Then he should take recourse to the pure devotional service. Shravanam, Shrotavyam, he should hear, Kirtitavyam cha, Smartavyasya, Ichchata Abhayam, if he wants to desire. But how many are intelligent? This is the problem. Now, Parikshit Maharaj is not interested to just hear Katha for himself, because he was Rajarshi, he was a pure devotee since birth. And through the agency of Parikshit Maharaj, this Bhagavad Katha and the message of Godhead is being spread. So he knows the heart of Parikshit Maharaj. He knows that he wants for the benefit of all, how to draw the attention of those who are not situated in Param Dharma, but in different kinds of dharmas. How to? So he very systematically, as if sanctioning whatever activities, whatever process of spirituality or discipline you have been following, that's fine. I have no complaint about it. And then he validates them by saying, yes, if one wants to attain strength, he should worship Indra. Brahma Varchas, if one wants to get a lot of Shakti, or wants to get progeny, wants to get beautiful wife, wants to get Vidya, then one should worship this, worship this. He is validating the Vedic system like that. So everybody who is hearing Shukdev Goswami is wondering, wow, whatever I am doing, even Shukdev Goswami, the most renounced person, is validating my process of doing karma kanda or yoga or different things. Then at the end, he said, Akama hai sarva kamo va moksha kama hai udaradi tibrena bhakti yogena yajetaya pucha. But if you are truly intelligent, after validating everybody's process, but if you are truly intelligent, whatever may be your aim or aspiration, akam hai, sarva kamova, moksha kama, even you want liberation, if you want to have a desire to go to heavens and find all the fulfillment in this world, whatever may be your aspiration, moksha udar, tivrena bhakti yogena, yajite purushaya param. Buddhiman, if you are truly intelligent, udaradhi means one whose intelligence is evolved. Now it sounds very good, correct? Oh, his intelligence is evolved. He is very magnanimous. He is broad-minded, correct? Udaradhi. So one who is broad-minded, then what he should do? He should worship exclusively the Param Purusha Shri Krishna for whatever may be the need. By worshipping of Ganesh or worship of Durga, worshipping of Sun God, or doing this meditation, whatever discipline we may be following, in one shot, you can definitely fulfill your desire, your ambition. So to that point, the beginning of Bhagavad Dharma, that we exclusive worship of the Supreme Lord. That is a fundamental thing. Now, because Shukdev Goswami, after validating their processes, he is not denying that, yeah, what you are doing is wrong. But if you are truly intelligent, for all the aspirations can be fulfilled in one shot. Like in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2, text number, towards the end of the 2nd chapter, if a big jalashay, the big pond can provide the necessities of all, then why we have to go to different small wells and waste time of that sort? So exclusive worship of Krishna is established as the foundation of a Bhagavad Dharma. One Supreme God. Now, is that enough? Now the shloka, following that shloka, is the essence of Bhagavad Dharma. After that, Shukdev Goswami says, Etavan eva yajitam iha nishreya sodaya bhagavati achalo bhavo yad bhagavat sangata etavan eva yajitam. All these different disciplines of spirituality you have been following, eva yajitam, that's fine, but iha nishreya sodaya. But in this, the highest good will be accomplished by that. Etavan eva yajitam iha nishreya sodaya. He's addressing your highest good, param kalyan, nishreya, shreyas and prayas, correct? Shreya means ultimate good and prayas means immediate good. So if you want to target your ultimate good, param kalyan, iha nishreya sodaya bhagavati achalo bhava. What is that? Bhagavati achalo bhava means you develop pure exclusive love for Krishna. Bhagavati achalo. Achalo means unwavering, fixed up love for Krishna. That is the ultimate param shreya, ultimate good for the living. And how to accomplish it? Bhagavati achalo bhavo. This is the prayojan. To accomplish to reach the prayojan, the process is Yad Bhagavat Sangata. Bhagavat means the person in whose heart the exclusive love for Krishna is sprouted. What is the definition of Bhagavatam or Bhagavat from the Bhagavat point of view? Bhagavati Achalo Bhava. Bhagavati means unto the Lord. Achalo means exclusive. Bhava means prem. One in whose heart the exclusive love for Krishna is sprouted. With such a person, by associating with such a person, Yad Bhagavata Sangata hai. By associating with such a person, one also attains that ultimate good in life. So now the thing is, what is Yad Bhagavata Sangata hai? Associating with a Bhagavat person who is having pure love of God in his heart. What kind of association is being described here? Sangataham, Sangha. As we associate with someone, something, we develop attachment, correct? Same principle in the world also. So we associate with a person on many levels, not only hearing, listening, appreciating, serving, supporting, many things. As we invest our service attitude towards such a person, then what happens? We develop attachment. Where there is our investment, there goes our attachment, correct? If you multiple times with interest start associating with a person, you will develop attachment. And as you develop attachment to such a person whose heart is endowed with pure love of God, by that association, that same pure love from his heart will be transpired to your heart. This is the process of attaining the perfection of Bhagavad, which is to develop pure love of Krishna. Now, this Siddhanta is established. Further, this Siddhanta is further delineated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Further, we will take one shloka, chapter 3, canto 3, chapter 25, text 20. The shloka says, Prasangam ajaram pasham. You can repeat after me. Atmana kavayo vidu sa eva sadhushu kritam mokshadvaram apavritam. So we will read Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport, and we will proceed. Glories of Pure Devotional Service, the chapter entitled, and text number 20. Every learned man knows very well that attachment for the material is the greatest entanglement of the spirit soul. Prasangam ajaram pasham. Prasangam means attachment. Sangha means association. And when the Sangha becomes more developed or multiplied, it becomes prasanga. So prasanga means attachment. What kind of attachment? Ajaram, very strong. Jara means old age is called jara, where everything becomes weak. Ajaram means very potent, like youthful. So very strong attachment for the material things or material affairs is the cause of the bondage for the soul in this material world. Prasangam, ajaram, pasham. Pasha means rope with which to bind. So we are bound to this material world due to our deep attachment. Strong attachment to the material things and material affairs. So much so that we just cannot get out of it until we are exposed to something very, very sublime. That's what we will discuss today. Sa eva sadhushu kritam. Now this is the critical word. So what kind of deep attachment we do experience? We have experienced since eternity in this world. Same attachment, if applied to a saintly person. Sa eva, same. Sadhushu kritam, to a saintly person. Moksha dvaram apavritam, one's door to the supreme abode, supreme destination opens. Sa eva sadhushu kritam, moksha dvaram apavritam. Wow, this is we are discussing Krishna consciousness. Here we are emphasizing so much on our attaching to the saintly person. How this translates? Our ultimate goal is to develop pure loving sentiments for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And the means to attain is to find our attachment, deep attachment to the directions, to the subservience of a saintly person whose heart is endowed with pure love. If we come in close and strong attachment with that person, then that attachment of his heart will be transpired into our heart. This is the thing. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, very, very nice thing. Here it is clearly stated that attachment for one thing is the cause of bondage in the conditioned life. Attachment for one thing is the cause of bondage in conditioned life. In the same attachment, because we are familiar with attachment, what attachment is like. When same attachment, when applied to something else, opens the door of liberation. Attachment cannot be killed. It has simply to be transferred. Attachment for material things is called material consciousness. And attachment for Krishna or his devotee is called Krishna consciousness. Consciousness is therefore the platform of attachment. Our consciousness is involved, correct? Without the involvement, we don't experience attachment. Consciousness, therefore, is platform of attachment. It is clearly stated here that when we simply purify the consciousness from material consciousness to Krishna consciousness, we attain liberation. Despite the statement that one should give up attachment, desirelessness is not possible for a living entity. If you become desireless, that means we have become dead matter. A living entity by constitution has the propensity to be attached to something. You cannot remain in non-attachment. By constitution has the propensity to be attached to something. We see that if someone has no object of attachment, if he has no children, then he transfers his attachment to cats and dogs. How true is it? This indicates that the propensity for attachment cannot be stopped. It must be utilized for the best purpose, though. Our attachment for material things perpetuates our conditional state. But the same attachment, when transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee, the critical point we will discuss today, try to understand is, if the same attachment when transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if that is sufficient, then why all his devotee is coming? Is it as important or less important or more important? Because we will unravel the secret of Bhagavad Dharma. What is stopping us? What has blocked, in spite of becoming sadhakas on this path of pure devotional service? What is stopping? What is not our progress? How to make our progress like should? When transferred to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee, is the source of liberation. Here it is recommended that attachment should be transferred to the self-realized devotees, the sadhus. And who is a sadhu? A sadhu is not just an ordinary man with a saffron robe or long beard. A sadhu is described in Bhagavad Gita as one who unflinchingly engages in devotional service. Even though one is found not to be following the strict rules and regulations of devotional service, if one simply has unflinching faith in Krishna, the Supreme Person, he is understood to be a sadhu. Sadhu revasa mantavya. A sadhu is a strict follower of devotional service. It is recommended here that if one at all wants to realize Brahman or spiritual perfection for the Supreme, his attachment should be transferred to the sadhu or devotee. Lord Chaitanya also confirms this. Lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hai. Simply by a moment's association with a sadhu, if that spark of attraction is ignited, okay, here is the person is my way to attain perfection of my human potential. One can attain perfection. Mahatma is synonymous with sadhu. It is said that service to a Mahatma or elevated devotee of the Lord is Dwaram Ahur Vimukte, the royal road of liberation. Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes Tamo Dwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. Bhagavatam 552. Rendering service to the materialist is the opposite effect. If anyone offers service to a gross materialist or a person engaged only in sense enjoyment, then by association with such a person, the door to hell is open. The same principle is confirmed here. Attachment to a devotee is attachment to the service of the Lord. Attachment to a devotee is attachment to the service of the Lord, because if one associates with a sadhu, the result will be that the sadhu will teach him how to become a devotee, a worshipper, and a sincere servitor of the Lord. These are the gifts of a sadhu. If we want to associate with a sadhu, we cannot expect him to give us instructions on how to improve our material condition. But he will give us instructions on how to cut the knot of the contamination of material attraction and how to elevate ourselves in devotional service. Prabhupada is very vibrant. These are the gifts of a sadhu. What are the gifts we should expect from the sadhu? We cannot expect him to give us instructions on how to improve our material condition, but he will give us instructions on how to cut the knot of the material contamination of material attraction and how to elevate ourselves in devotional service. This is the result of associating with the sadhu. Kapil Muni first of all instructs that the path of liberation begins with such association. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. From beginning to end, it's pure nectar, and it's unlimited, and we should feel unlimited nectar of such instructions. And whatever nectar effect we experience, we share with Parasparam. You share your experience, we share our experience, and this is how we can increase our appraisal of the beauty of Krishna consciousness. How to find our intrigue in this Krishna culture. Everything about Krishna is wonderful. There is a chapter in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 22nd to 3rd chapter in Govardhan Leela. Wonderful Krishna. Everything about the Lord is wonderful, intriguing, fascinating, enlightening. We hear them. And if we cultivate, hear, and partake in those descriptions, our appreciation for Krishna increases. It has to increase to such an extent that we cannot forget Krishna even for a moment. That stage is possible. That's why our great stalwart acharyas, when they describe the glories and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they use this word. I will begin with one question. Every day we sing a prayer, a sadhakas, in which the word Adbhuta comes. Anybody can spot that sloka? What is your name? Your name? Karina. Anybody? We sing this that's prayer every day in the temple. Yes? Who said something? Very good. The word comes Adbhuta, correct? Tavakara Kamalavari Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bhringam. Why should Jaydev Goswami is using this word Adbhuta? What is Adbhuta about it? What is the definition of Adbhuta? Adbhut means something. Those who follow Hindi languages, Adbhuta means something unheard of. Matchless. It has a connotation of paradox. Something which is paradoxical is called Adbhuta. Amazing! Wow, this is far out. Everybody walks from the forward, correct? If you see a human being walking backward, this is Adbhuta. Paradoxical in nature is called Adbhuta. So what is the paradoxical nature in that descriptions? What is his vision? The great devotional poet is describing the pastime of Narsingadev that Tavakara Kamala Vari Nakham Adbhuta Shringam. Krishna in his form as Narsingadev is bifurcating, it's just shredding the Bhringa like. Bhringa means Bhaura. In English, what you call bumblebee? Wasp. Very good. A wasp is hovering over the flower. Sometimes. So Hiranyakashipu, the demon, is compared to a wasp. And the Lord's nails are compared to the lotus. What is so amazing about it? The Lord Nrsingadevi is bifurcating, shredding the stomach, of a demon Hiranyakashipu. And the great devotee poet Jaydev Goswami is describing that this is very amazing. This is Adbhuta. What is the Adbhuta about it? Anybody can guess? To is a weapon. But what is Adbhuta about it?
Lotus petal, soft.
Soft.
No.
Okay. But he's using the lotus nails to do it. What is Adbhuta about it? Yes.
Could it be that Hiranyakashipu is being killed and destroyed, but at the same time he's being purified by touching the Supreme Lord?
Well, that is the byproduct. If anybody gets the touch of the Lord, he will be delivered ultimately. Adbhuta, see the observation, what we see in nature. First, in order to establish what is so far out or paradoxical, we have to see the what we commonly experience in this world. What we see, what a wasp does to the flower, it shreds all the petals, kills, eats, correct? This is. But here, the lotus-like nails are shredding the wasp. In nature, what we see, a wasp destroys the lotus or the rose flower, whatever, kills it. When too many wasps come, the whole crop of flowers in lotus is destroyed. This is what the wasp does, correct? But here, the lotus is destroying the wasp. Isn't this paradoxical? Far out? Tava kara kamala vare nakam adbhuta shringam. The Lord, even his lotus nails, they are destroying the wasp like here Nekashipu. This is adbhuta. So every pastime of the Supreme Lord is filled with this. Why we are so? Why all the pastimes are so intriguing? Because they are superhuman. Although Krishna appears as human being. Kritvan kila karmani saha ramena keshiva ati martyani bhagavan gudha kapata manusha. Gudha kapata manusha. Krishna appears as human being to draw our attention. So if some human being appearing like human being, if he does something very far out thing, our attention is drawn towards it. Gudha kapata manusha. Gudha means concealed. Kapata means which is apparent. Gudha kapata manusha. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. That is the Gudha. How many people accepted Krishna is the supreme God when he appeared? But he attracted everybody's attention. That's why he's called Krishna, the all attractive one. Kapata manusha, his human-like appearance is very, very attractive. But the secret is that he's God himself. Gudha kapata manusha. He performs such suprahuman pastimes and activities, but he appeared as human, so everybody was drawn to him. How can a human being perform such pastimes? Very uncommon. If anybody who appears like human being and if he performs such pastimes, so does something which no other human being can do, he can be accepted as God. You get my point? Because when we try to define God, who is not, only by his actions, in whichever form he manifests. So Krishna or God in his original form is Krishna. He appeared, he attracted attention of all of us because through his beauty, through his flute, through his beautiful, amazing, loving pastimes, through his associates, Prema Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, sweetness of his loving exchange with his devotees, his loving pastimes, all these things. Now, everything about Krishna is adbhuta. And if we are intrigued by such adbhuta or far out of wonder of God, then it will cause our obsession to think about him all the times. So we better become more and more intrigued by endless this wonders of Krishna, then eventually we will be all the time thinking of Krishna. Is it not possible? Do we participate in this sufficiently? That question remains. Now, the similar intrigue or paradox is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very beautiful description. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during his conversation with Keshav Kashmiri, after the Lord, defeated him just in describing the glories of Mother Ganges, but just to give him solace that you have created such a wonderful poetry to describe the glories of the Ganges. Then Lord, to just pacify him, he said that you have used this, in a figure of speech, figurative language and description, are there many alankar, figurative description of many things. So in that, this adbhut alankar is used by Keshav Kashmiri, and similarly Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described. He said, Ambujam Ambuni Jatam. Just think how intriguing this description by the Lord is. He says, Ambuni means in the water. Ambujam means the lotus. Ambujam literally means one that grows in the water. Ambujam. Ambu means water. Jam means taking birth. So one who takes birth in the water is called Ambujam. means lotus. So Ambujam, Ambuni means water or in water. The lotus grows in the water, correct? This is what we always see. Ambujam, Ambuni Jatam, Kvachitapi na Jatam, Ambujadambu. We never see that the water grows from the lotus. Do we see? We always find that from the water, lotus grows. We don't see water growing out of lotus. This is our common experience. But Murabhidi Tadavipiritam. Murabhidi means Krishna, one who killed the demon Mura. In context or in relation about Krishna, it is the opposite. With regard to Krishna, it is the opposite. What is the opposite? Padam bhojat mahanadi jata. Padam bhojat, from Krishna's lotus feet sprouts the mother Ganges. What we see in the world, that lotus grows in the water. The source of lotus is water. We never see that from lotus water grows. But in Krishna's context, from his lotus feet, the water, Mahanadi Jata, is sprouted. Isn't that wonderful? Now, as we study Krishna's pastimes and many things, those wonders must be contemplated upon. They should cause our intrigue to such an extent that we will be not able to forget Krishna even for a moment, or rather, we will be so drawn, our consciousness will be so drawn to hanker, to increase our hanker to find association with Krishna, when we can associate with Krishna, when we can meet Krishna, when we can have vision of Krishna. So that hankering will help us, qualify us. It will cause our deserving to meet Krishna. Srila Prabhupada used to say, first deserve, then desire. But what is deserving? What will cause our deserving? If we desire something so much, that is strong desiring becomes our deserving. So in that particular pastime we will discuss. Parikshit Maharaj is being described by Shukdev Goswami. Leela in Vrindavan, Aghasur. Krishna killed the demon Agha, like the python. So in that pastime, Shukdev Goswami, after describing this pastime, towards the end, he said that Krishna killed Aghasur demon when he was at the age of 5. But the cowherd boys, after 1 year, they told the Brajavasis that today Krishna killed the python, big python, and protected us today. Be attentive. What a wonderful pastime of Krishna to cause our amazing intrigue. Wow. If something happened 1 year before, and now those very people who saw that, we describe today that today Krishna killed that demon and protected us. This is very intriguing. This very description. Just think of that scenario. You saw something happening 1 year ago. Now you tell that event after 1 year, that today this happened. So Parikshit Maharaj is very intrigued, very awestruck. Oh my Lord, oh my spiritual master, how is it possible? Brahman kalantare kritam tatkalinam katham bhavet. Something which happened in the past, tatkalinam katham bhavet. How can it be described as happening today? Tatkalina means right now, tatkal. Kalantara means in the past. Something which happened in the past, how can it be described to have happened in the present today? Tatkalinam katham bhavet. Yo Pogande, yo Kaumare Harikritam. What Krishna did, Yat Kaumare Harikritam, what Krishna did at the age of 5, Kaumare means at the age of 5, Jaguhu Paugandake Arbhakaha. Arbhaka means the cowherd boys describe that when Krishna attained this age of 6, that is called Paugand. Kaumare means 5-year age. Paugand means 6-year age. This is the question. Now, when we want to know something, and if we know that somebody is knowledgeable, we ask him the question, and we know that he will give good answer, right answer. But we don't ask questions with such a vismay, such amazement. How is it possible? You understand what I mean? There are different levels of asking questions. You want to know something, and you find that somebody can give this answer. You are not so amazed by what would be the answer. There will be some answer, but here he's asking the question with so much amazement. How is it possible that some event which took place 1 year ago, it is being described as have happened today? Now we know that how when Lord Brahma stole the calves and the cowherd boys, then Krishna himself became for 1 year the calves and cowherd boys. We know this pastime, it's very detailed pastime. Brahma only. And so when Brahma, after playing his trick of hiding the calves and the cowherd boys, when he sees that, the calves and the cowherd boys, their age it is, they are playing the same thing. When split of the moment, he just says, oh my God, I hit them, but they are still here. Which are real, which are unreal? He's really puzzled. For 1 year, and so when the original cowherd boys and calves are reinstated, and then after 1 year, when the cowherd boys come back home, they describe, wow, this is very amazing. So this is what happened. God can do it. He can just make everything stand still, and he can still continue his action. This is the glory of Krishna. How wonderful Krishna is, we cannot just fathom. And then when Brahma comes and does his prayer and everything feels like settled, then Parikshit Maharaj asks another question. So during that 1 year, when Krishna himself became all the calves for all the cows and the cowherd boys for all the big gopis and gopas, it was observed that their love for Krishna, Krishna who is not their child. Krishna is whose child? Krishna is child of Mother Yashoda and Nanda. But when Krishna himself became all the cowherd boys and the calves, now the gopas and the gopis, they think this is our boy. All the cows think this is our baby. They think that this is their baby. But their love for Krishna, who is someone else's baby, increased so much more than to their own child, because their child was hidden by Brahma. For 1 year, all the big gopis and the cows, they did not have their child, the cowherd boy or the calf. They were playing. The mothers were breastfeeding Krishna, who has become their child, just like. So Krishna is someone else's child, but their love for someone else's child has increased more than for their own child. This was observed by Balramji. What is this? Do we experience anything like this in this material world? Do you know any parent who loves someone else's child more than his own child? Sir, what's your name? Yeah. Josh, do you know anything about that? That somebody loves someone else's child more than his own child? Yes, Mat.
I hear that grandparents sometimes love their grandchildren more than
Apparently more, but we cannot say the parents love less. This argument was also given to Prabhupada. Prabhupada once was describing the glories of his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It's very wonderful that a grandfather is more merciful or more loving to a child than father. Correct? It's could be seen also, could be. But here's the thing. So the disciple went to Srila Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I want to follow Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, my grand spiritual master, because you told that the grand spiritual master or grandfather is more merciful than the father. And Prabhupada knew his mind. He said, that's all right. Prabhupada, this is how you do. But father is no less. Father is no less merciful. Correct? So that way, now father and grandfather, you cannot now separate in that context. Father's son, father's grandson, correct? They are the same unit. But here the context is someone else's child. Someone else's child. Is that child not grandfather's? Yes, so we cannot separate grandfather and the father. The context is, does anybody love someone else's child more than one's own child? We don't observe this. So this was observed. So then again, this question was asked by Parikshit Maharaj, ki Brahman Premo, Brahman, he's asking, O Brahman, O Brahman Dev, describe Yo abhut purva stokeshu swa udbhaveshu api kate. How is it possible that Krishna, Brahman, Krishna parodbhave Krishna, who is someone else's child, to someone else's child, more love is demonstrated. Ye udbhaveshu api katyatam. Swa udbhaveshu. More love demonstrated to someone else's child more than towards one's own child. This is abhutpurva. This is unprecedented. This is unprecedented. How is it possible? Then Shukdev Goswami, for our benefit, is giving the reply. He said that everybody loves oneself only the most. We love ourselves the most, isn't it? Is this true? Everybody agrees with me? I'm just quoting Shukdev Goswami. He said, Parikshit, actually everybody loves only oneself. Welcome. Everybody loves oneself the most. If one loves the children or the spouse, or the home, property, wealth, friends, everything, because it pleases oneself. Correct? So, since one loves oneself the most, one does not love the things which are dear to him as much as one loves oneself. One does not love the children or the spouse or the home, property, friendship, society, not as much as one loves oneself. Well, one can even Dehatmavadi. Dehatmavadi means those who consider their body as the self. Oh, I love my body. The body consciousness is very strong. Even those who consider their body as the soul, even for them, they love their body more than those who are related to the bodies. One loves one's body. One loves one's body more than one loves those who are related to the body. The children, the spouse, the home, property and everything. Is it not true? But even in that context, one does not love even one's body as much as one loves oneself. If the doctor tells that you got this infection and we have to cut your leg or hand, we are very attached to our body, bodily limbs. But, something has to be cut, but I want to live. So we love only ourselves more than even our body. Is that correct? Out of ignorance, sometimes people, when they cannot handle the shock, some defamation or something, a lot of debt, monetary debt, or so many lawsuits, or many things happen. Certain conflict in the family, society, and all these things shattered, then we cannot take that pressure, and a person commits. Why everybody is so quiet? Nobody wants it, no? But why suicide is committed? Of course, in ignorance. But those who commit suicide, do you think they are in ignorance? They think they are doing the best thing. Isn't it amazing? Why a person commits suicide? Means he finishes his body. Through this body, we experience all the joy and all the wonderful experiences. And when we cannot handle our situation, circumstances, we think this is the best exit. A person who commits suicide, at that time, he is. Do you know anybody who commits suicide miserably? Huh?
The commissioner said was the last one?
Miserably.
Yes.
Can I tell you? They are anything but miserable. They think this is the best shot for them to get out, get the hell out of it. They're the most normal, happy. It's like very, very concealing. Nobody will figure their moment they are going to commit suicide. They know they have found a solution. They have found a panacea to all the problems. That's why in Vedic language, the word for suicide is what? Anybody from India who knows what is the word for suicide? One more. Khudkushi. Khudkushi means when one is situated in his own joy. Yeah, you are after me. You can, everybody. Then even those who show, he just becomes so normal at that point and exists. It's called khudkushi. Why one commits suicide? Of course, one does due to ignorance of the soul's ultimate potential in human form of life. But the whole idea is to everyone, his soul is most dear. Now, in order to save the soul from this material atmosphere of inglory or intolerance or so much mental pressure, so much frustration, all these things, how to come out of it? So suicide becomes the immediate wonderful thing. He is so much convinced that he wants to finish his body. Why? Because in this body through which he experienced joy, now he doesn't want to experience agony. And that's why he very willingly commits suicide, not knowing that human life is meant for something higher purpose. So unless that higher purpose, higher destination is exposed to us, we may remain stuck here also. So how to come out of it? So Krishna, Shukdev Goswami says, Krishna menam avehi tvam atmanam akhilatmanam jagad hitaya sopyatre dehiva bhati maya. Just as our soul is the essence of our existence, the most dear thing to us. Soul is the most dear in our existence. Our gross body, which is visible, subtle body, which is not visible, and but the soul, the person, ourself, oneself, is the most important thing. Soul is the essence of our life. Similarly, the soul's soul. Krishna is the soul of the soul. So these Brajavasis, Krishna menam avehitvam atmanam akhilatmanam. He's the soul of all the souls. He's the akhilatma. He's the source. He's the essence of our existence. So just as soul is most dear to us, one who is soul of the soul, Krishna, is most dear to them. That's why their attraction to Krishna, their loving disposition towards Krishna is more than towards their own child, own children. So this is also possible in our lives or not. If in Brajavasis, those who are eternal associates of Krishna, they have this anubandham. It's like a soul bond with the Krishna. That, they see Krishna more dear than their own lives. So anything related to them, their children, their property, their everything, they are ready to sacrifice for Krishna. They are ready to sacrifice themselves also. So the instruction here is that our life we cannot mess up with our life. We cannot destroy our life. We cannot play with our life. We can sacrifice our life only for Krishna, who is the source of our life. Even we don't have the right to kill or finish or deprive ourselves from the life. So this, how this can happen in our life? But we observe something very wonderful. When a person, do you see in the world? Now the question directly, have you observed in someone, if someone devotes or deposits or shows more love and dedication and sacrifice, surrender to someone else more than to oneself, one's own child, one's own family, own spouse, own family, society, everything? Can you think of something which is right mental? If Parikshit Maharaj is intrigued by the notion that how can someone show more love to someone else's child than to one's own child, can we observe something in our lives somewhere where somebody dedicates or sacrifices, shows greater love and devotion to someone else than to oneself or one's so-called, those who are called one's own? We are very attached to our spouse or child, country, society, family, community, everything. And we see tremendous sacrifice shown by many people, They donate millions of dollars to identify that I'm a servant of such a community. People sacrifice so much, time, energy, everything to please one's wife, please one's child and everything. And one feels tremendously gratified. Even laying down their lives for the sake of the country. I'm a proud soldier or martyr of a great nation. So much we. But there, the identification is, it is my country, my wife, my child, me, based on the bodily connection. But here, do we observe in that context, someone showing greater sacrifice and dedication to someone else other than one's own family or those who are considered close ones. If you want to develop what the Brajavasis experience, we experience that when we embark upon this path of pure devotional service, what we do? We take shelter of the spiritual master. What we see the spiritual master is, we see the spiritual master as an eternal associate of Krishna. Our vision of the spiritual master should be what? That he is a Brajavasi. What is the nature of a Brajavasi? That he has more love for Krishna than for himself, or those who are called his. This is what we observed, that Krishna demonstrated, the Brajavasis demonstrated greater love for Krishna, who is someone else's child, than toward their own child. This was observed, and this was very intriguing for Parikshit Maharaj. And Shukdev Goswami said, because for them, Krishna is the soul of their soul. That's why their attraction, their attachment, their love for Krishna is greater than their own kids and family. Now, when we take this to this path of pure devotional service, in our life also this happens. Diksha kale bhakta kare atma samarpan, sei kale Krishna tare kare atma sam. We feel that sublime experience. Wow, I have been accepted. I have been registered in the register of Krishna. When we take Diksha, the experience is so sublime that I got a new life. I'm connected. I'm included in the family of God, the family of Krishna. Because I dedicated my life to Sri Guru, who is perceived as an eternal associate of the Lord. Now think of oneself. Have we not, we see in lives of many devotees, they sacrifice everything in the service of the spiritual master. Correct? As much as one imagines, if God appears in front of us, how much we will dedicate our life, how we will, everything. That opportunity one gets when one dedicates, surrenders to the lotus feet of the spiritual master, a saintly person. Is it not wonderful? How is that possible? Because one is exposed to the ultimate achievement of human potential. We is in our Swarup, eternal servant of Krishna. If we realize the association of someone who is very dear to Krishna, now in order to cause our dearness to Krishna or to endear ourselves to Krishna, the process is to endear ourselves to someone who has endeared himself to Krishna. This is the process. So if you follow this process, then something most wonderful happen. And this alone will cause our transfer of this emotion or the temporary love to the eternal love. As we hear these wonderful things, it's very enlightening. I don't have to ask this question that whatever we discussed today, apparently I'm the speaker, but I'm not the speaker. I'm the listener. You know, the speaker is all the stalwart Mahapurushas. I'm only simply repeating. So we can all agree. That is very fascinating. It is very, very, very enlightening. What we discuss, isn't it enlightening? Anybody raise hand if one thinks that it is not so enlightening. Okay. It is very enlightening that we are allowed, we are being given the opportunity to experience that kind of love bond greater than we experience with our own kins, own spouse, own children. Isn't it? Our affination, our affinity, our dedication, our love, our thinking constantly how to please the spiritual master, pleasing the spiritual master is pleasing Krishna. We want to impress Krishna, correct? And Krishna says, Mad Bhakta Pujyavedika. If you worship, if you show devotion to my devotee, then I am more pleased than my own devotion directly. So that thing we understand. But how to sustain that enlightening? The difference between enlightening and awakening. Anybody knows? They sound similar. Anybody would like to, just from the words point of view, we have heard the word enlightening, correct? And also awakening. What is the difference between the two? Okay, try.
Could it possibly be that one is for spiritual enlightenment and awakening would be more goodness, sort of the material level? My best shot.
Okay. Awakening and enlightening. Anyone else?
Enlightening is temporary. It's enlightening. And awakening is more permanent.
More permanent
It's permanent.
or permanent? Permanent is sufficient.
What about,
Yes.
one is asleep and awakes. The other one is awake, but he becomes enlightened.
Yes. Finally, yeah.
Buddha,
Mhm.
he was awakened from what he has seen around him. Later he enlightened and connected to the God. Something later.
When we say that what we heard today is very enlightening, how long this enlightening experience lasts? Correct? Oh, we heard wonderful lecture, we had wonderful, it was very, very enlightening. The word enlightening has a lightning. What lightning does? We have seen the lightning in the sky. It just shakes us. But then it goes away. We may be sleeping and some shock comes, lightning like shock. We wake up, oh, what's the, but again go to sleep. So enlightening is not everlasting, but something so big, so shocking that you now cannot sleep. That much enlightening. Incessant enlightening is called awakening. Awakening is the ultimate, means if we have imbibed the message to such an extent that we cannot let go of it. Enlightening is intellect deep. Awakening is chitta deep. Just as we describe, our faith is mind deep. In our sadhan bhakti, from Shraddha to Prem stage, the most critical stage is this asakti which we describe. At the stage of asakti, our remembrance of the object of our asakti becomes incessant, effortless, which is very difficult to attain. How difficult it is to fall in love with someone. Do you wish I can fall in love with someone? When it happens, happens, correct? Do you intellectualize? I should fall in love with this person. No. It's a special fascination. It's a special feeling. Wow. I'm falling in love with someone. I cannot let go of thinking of that person. So now in our process of this spirituality, Shraddha, the faith which we call, we have we have Shraddha, faith in multiple things. That's why mind entertains many things, liking, makes sense like this. But when that Shraddha, when our intelligence is involved, it becomes Nishtha. That's why Nishtha is Buddhi deeper. Even when through our intelligence, when we figure out that something is right, I should do, something is wrong, I should not do, still do we think the right things, or do we avoid the wrong things knowingly? Until our own persistence, insistence, our ego is involved. I want to do this because this is right thing. I don't want to do this. So, Ruchi, when your personal insistence is there, the same Shraddha from Nishtha becomes Ruchi. Now, that is also not sufficient. The next stage in a bhakti, the asakti. Asakti is chitta deep. We crave for that asakti. Our Sridhar Swami, the original commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam, he describes in his commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam in 10th canto, 87th chapter, text number 23, where he describes towards the end, purport you can read, Charana Smarnam Premna Tava Deva Sudur Labham Yatha Kathanchit Sri Gaura Hari Mama Bhuyad Aharnish. O Lord, loving remembrance of your lotus feet is very, very difficult to achieve. Now, as sadhakas, we should pray to Krishna for something which is very difficult for us to achieve on our own. We can progress up to Ruchi, but in Ruchi also we wish that our insistence in doing the right things, devotional limbs, it will cause our Ruchi. Ruchi is also very high stage. At the stage of Ruchi, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that all the anarthas sprouted from bhakti, because as one follows the path of pure devotional service, then lot of attention is drawn towards us. We get lot of respect, puja, man, pratishtha, people show. And so one thinks, wow, I have become such a great devotee, because that's why people respect me, honor me, worship me. I have become worshipper. So this anartha, but when one develops the ruchi, the taste of devotional service in chanting, hearing, and contemplating about Krishna's pastimes, then one just does away from these things. What kind of trap I am getting into? Man, puja, pratishtha. So that's also very high stage. But then what happens at the stage of asakti? Unbeknown to you, you are remembering the person effortlessly. Until the stage of ruchi, we are very consciously trying to remember Krishna, correct? But at the stage of asakti, you cannot forget Krishna, even if you try. If you have fallen in love with someone, however hard you try to forget that person, you cannot. That's same condition. That was the condition of the gopis. Krishna was in their heart so much stuck. To get the relief, they wanted to get rid of Krishna, get out from my heart. But they could not forget Krishna even for a moment. So the whole idea is we must crave for that awakening. Awakening is synonymous with asakti. Enlightening is synonymous with ruchi. The most critical stage. We must involve Krishna. Hey, Krishna, please bestow your attachment for you. If it was possible on our own through doing lot of chanting and lot of things, by doing lot of devotional service, our avesh, the avesh, how we describe in English, avesh means the passion, the vigor could be that I do lot of bhakti. So we identify as I am doing lot of bhakti, rather than bhakti may. Diving into bhakti, we identify that we do lot of bhakti. Now, if I do lot of bhakti, I'm a great devotee. If my passion is to think that I do lot of bhakti, then someone has to know my glory, correct? But when you dive deep into bhakti, you don't have time to think, to tell anybody. Your absorption at the stage of asakti, your remembrance of Krishna becomes incessant. You cannot let go. Because that asakti is the first sprout of bhava bhakti. The real bhakti begins at the stage of asakti. Because asakti is described as the first sprouting of that pure bhakti or bhava bhakti. So this is possible. We must work. We must not settle just by hearing on regular basis very enlightening lectures, enlightening things, enlightening episodes. How it will become incessant? Now the answer is given. Sa eva sadhushu kritam moksha dvaram apavitam. The shloka which we took, that as much as our attachment to these material affairs, material things and material affairs is our cause of bondage to this material world, in the same way, same attachment when applied to a saintly person, that will convert into our full-fledged love for Krishna. How to describe this? This secret we hear. How to unveil this secret? The Vedas try to explain this concept through some examples. It remains a secret unless we get the message very clearly. Ayur Ghritam Iva Iti. In Vedas, one aphorism, Ayur Ghritam Iti. Ayu means healthy life. Ghritam means ghee, purified butter. You know ghee? Iti. Ghee is life. Ghee hi jivan hai. What is, when we see ghee or purified butter, do we see this is life? Is it equal to life? They are two different things, apparently. But the instruction is, if you take ghee in your diet, you get healthy life. Correct? See the connection? Ayur Ghritam Iti. If you take ghee, that taking ghee in your diet will give you very healthy life. So in the same way, attaching ourselves to the service of the pure devotees. Saiva sadhushu kritam, the same attachment, if applied to the sadhus. Sadhu means, in our vision, to whom we perceive as most blessed. Attachment to a sadhu with whom we meet in person, not previous sadhu. We cannot say, oh, I love Prabhupada, but we never met Prabhupada. We can worship Prabhupada, we can honor Prabhupada, Pujyata Bhav, lot of worshipful attitude. We do Guru Puja. But after 15 minutes, we are in our line. Are we thinking of Prabhupada 24/7? We cannot. 24/7, we are not able to remember Krishna. Why? Because Krishna has not become manifest in person in our lives. But the person who comes in our life as a person, through our exchange and dealing and dedication, we may develop attachment to such a person. So the same attachment goes to a saintly person, sadhushu kritam, moksha dvaram apavitam. This is the only way. So in our fortune, if we come across such a person towards whom in our heart the revelation is given by Krishna, if we feel that kind of attraction, that kind of attachment, yes, here is my Prabhupada. Every generation has a Prabhupada. Prabhupada is not limited to one person. Prabhupada is a whole parampara of pure devotees. Everybody in every generation hankers for a Prabhupada. We have to identify our own Prabhupada. If you have identified, you're attaining the supreme destination, or you're attaining the full-fledged love of Krishna. It becomes a guarantee. The Kali Yuga living entities, all of us, we are so fragile, we are so fallible. We need a guarantee, correct? We don't want to struggle and still remain uncertain, undecided whether we will get the real thing or not. We need a guarantee. So our attaching to a sadhu, a pure devotee, is the guarantee of our attaining the supreme destination. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Any question or anything one would like to share? It's a good time. We have about 15-20 minutes. There are so many thoughts were sometime, coming, but by your kind attention, it provided me the encouragement to share the best understanding I felt blessed with by the mercy of my spiritual master. So may you also, if you feel benefited, what could be more joyful? I was speaking only to myself. I was just reinstating my convictions, remembering the blessings of my spiritual masters, His divine grace. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Very nice.
Ever since you have come, we have been getting such beautiful sense, and we cannot thank you enough.
Still, we must not deviate from the real point. Is it enlightening or awakening? As we will disperse from this sojourn assembly, what should be the impact? What impact we should carry with us? Are we fully awakened to cause or to attain the perfection of our human potential? The secret is revealed here. All the scriptures, all the saintly persons, all the incarnations, the Lord's messiahs and messengers, they are targeting us, human beings. We are the target of the scriptures. We are made so special. We are the focus of the scriptures. Did you ever hear this before? We are so special. Our Swarup is so special. We are extraordinary. Anybody has any doubt that we are extraordinary?
Extraordinarily beautiful and extraordinarily dangerous.
But the thing is, are you not extraordinary?
Yes. We are extraordinary.
Then it comes with an obligation. Do we acknowledge that we are very blessed? These are the points to be contemplated upon. It will cause awakening, guaranteed. If you're discussing openly and focusing on our awakening, without which we are underperforming, we remain underachiever. We have remained underachiever. We have underperformed multiple times. We have remained ordinary, although we are made in our Swarup, in our identity, we are all extraordinary. But think, how we speak, how we act. Does that sound? Does that appear? Does that feel extraordinary? Think of our actions, think of the way we speak with others, think the way we deal with others. Does it make us proud? Or it makes us ashamed of ourselves? It is not that one wants to think of oneself as extraordinary, but one has to act also. We are made extraordinary by God as a human being. Purusho nasti. We are all made extraordinary. Then it is our obligation now to think extraordinary, to speak extraordinary, and also act extraordinary. So if we think We are all very blessed. Anybody disagrees? If we acknowledge that we are very blessed, it comes with one obligation. And what is that obligation? Can anybody think about that obligation? If we acknowledge, some people may be there, no, I don't think I'm very blessed. I'm miserable or whatever. In this assembly, every one of us thinks that we are very blessed. This acknowledgement is not free. It comes with an obligation. Can you think of that obligation?
To love our soul, which is
Huh?
to love our soul, which is Krishna.
Yeah, that is yet to be attained, correct?
Gratitude.
So,
Gratitude.
yeah, gratitude is in the process, but what is the obligation? What obligation do you have to fulfill? Now it is our obligation to become fully blessed. We are very blessed. Now obligation is now to become fully blessed. Fully blessed means to become a pure devotee. To become a pure devotee is our individual obligation. We cannot run away from it. We cannot undermine it. We cannot let go. Okay, I can wait to become a pure devotee. No. If you have acknowledged that we are very blessed, it behooves all of us to take this responsibility, this obligation. That Srila Prabhupada has come, the followers of Prabhupada have come, and they have given us this obligation to be fulfilled, to be achieved. That I want to become a pure devotee. Is it a good aspiration to become a pure devotee? What does it mean? Okay. If it is a good aspiration to attain the perfection of our human potential, now think of this thing, what this mouthpiece is going to speak, what Gurudev is going to speak through this mouthpiece. Think of this. I want to become a pure devotee. What should be my attitude? To acknowledge that I'm not a pure devotee as yet. The most problem for most sadhakas, or just because I have heard something, I assume that I have known it. Just having some information, we assume that now we know it all. I heard it all. The whole idea is to become a pure devotee, that obligation is yet unattained. And the journey begins by this humble attitude that I'm not a pure devotee. If we can accept this notion, I'm not a pure devotee as yet, it will create revolution in our consciousness, in our demeanor, in our disposition. Because that unfulfilled desire, that unfulfilled will capture our consciousness, singularly. It will free us from all other aspirations. All other aspirations will appear so dim, so pale. That's what the old stalwart acharyas, they are hankering. They are demonstrating through their examples. When would you become a pure devotee? Every human being is given that the capacity to become a pure devotee. Who deprives us? We have been only self-depriving. So when the desire to become a pure devotee is there, the direct process, the direct way to guarantee our becoming a pure devotee is to identify someone as a pure devotee. But for most sadhakas, the real problem, the impasse becomes that, oh, now I know the secret of becoming pure. I have to become pure devotee. I have become pure devotee. And that's why, because if I think of myself as pure devotees, it blocks my vision to see others as pure devotees. Only by myself Only by seeing myself not as pure devotee, I stand a chance to see or think, maybe you are a pure devotee. Then my search for a pure devotee begins. And when my heart gets the revelation, okay, yes, here is a pure devotee, then the attachment of the heart to that such a pure devotee causes my full-fledged love for Krishna, making me a pure devotee also. So this cultivation of this Bhagavad Dharma is only by attaching to a pure devotee. Bhagavati achalo bhavo yad bhagavata sangata. Only by associating, only by identifying someone as pure devotee and then attaching our dedication to such a person, that will do it. Other than that, no matter how much learned we become, how much wonderful speaker we become, how much austerity we perform, how much sadhana, the secret will elude us. We'll not get there. The Bhagavatam is we discuss. Saiva sadhushu kritam. The same kind of attachment when applied to that saintly person whom we identify as pure devotee, that will do it. Nothing else we have to do. But if we don't do that, everything else will be not sufficient. One thing will suffice, attaching ourselves to a pure devotee. All other things, however greatly we do perform, would not be sufficient. So the secret of success is that we need a guarantee. We need a guarantee that we will become a pure devotee. Don't we need a guarantee? Guarantee is feeling good, na? You know? Guarantee is feeling good. So when one finds one's heart drawn, yes, here is my connection. Here is my way to God. Then one feels most blessed himself also. So we should bring our very blessedness to fully blessedness. That is the sutra. If one point you want to take from this contemplative and only just sharing, revealing, reinstating my convictions, that we have to bring our very blessedness to loud, fully blessedness. And the way is, you are the instrument. You have to bring that fortune to yourself. God helps those who wants to help themselves. Would you help yourself to bring your very blessedness to fully blessedness? No response?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Any question or any question? Yes, brother. Can we put some battery connection? Battery is very low. Wire is very small.
You still in Zoom, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's all right. It's 10%. Oh, is it?
okay.
See, this is one way of moving towards becoming fully blessed. Yes, what's the question?
Soul pure initially, then it got contaminated. and
Soul is pure,
Soul is pure.
always.
Since we come in contact with the material life.
Even then, soul is pure. Even there is soul is pure. Soul is anti-matter. Soul cannot be mixed with matter. Soul is always pure.
So, this is the purpose of developing the quality. I know we need to develop the quality because we are fallen. Or is it because we are come in contact with the material world, that's why we are polluted? And so
Pol-
that's why we need to develop the consciousness to increase the quality.
Pol- Polluted is the consciousness can become polluted. Consciousness is the symptom. Through consciousness, we identify the existence of the soul. I exist. If my body limbs are shaking, that means I exist. If they stop moving, I don't. So consciousness only demonstrates the presence of the soul. Now the consciousness being the property of the soul, we cannot separate the consciousness from the soul. But the consciousness, when trapped, consciousness has the tendency to be influenced. It's a very, very typical, very intriguing thing, the relationship between consciousness and the soul. Soul is not consciousness. Consciousness is the property of the soul. You know. Our consciousness determines the destiny of the soul. But soul cannot become polluted. Soul itself. But it is drawn, it is dragged through the consciousness to different sphere. It's like forced, you are forced into it. So when they say nobody can kill the soul, nobody can cut the soul, nobody can dry the soul, it is antimatter. But it goes to the experience because of misidentification through the consciousness. Oh, somebody's beating me, somebody insulting me, somebody's defying me, somebody's bothering me. Because of our misidentification with the matter, I think I am this body. And this body, identifying with this body, all these reactions, we think, we the soul, we say only in theory, but in practice, do we feel that I am soul? I very much feel I am this body only. So the positive, negative ideas, reactions, the soul is trapped because of our attachment in our consciousness with this material atmosphere. The soul is trapped here, although it cannot be touched by matter, but it's unnecessarily drawn into this atmosphere. So when consciousness becomes purified, then the soul can attach to the real thing, Krishna, and the divine realm. Who is conscious? Soul is conscious, correct?
Intelligence should be conscious.
Intelligence is matter. Never forget. Soul is conscious.
It's a subtle element around the soul.
It's the property. It is the property of the soul. It's the symptom of the soul. The presence of the soul is demonstrated through the consciousness. Soul is antimatter, so in time and space, we cannot figure out. Everything we are used to measure everything in time and space, correct? This size, this length, and all these things. But soul being antimatter, it cannot be measured in terms of time and space. And so, this is not our home. This is not our eternal abode. This is not the place we should identify so strongly that we remain stuck here. That same attachment, the message is very clear. A sadhu is one whose fascination of this world has ceased. One who is not overwhelmed by the influence of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad, matsarya. It is not a sadhu who does not have desire. Krishna seva kamarpane. He has a strong desire to please Krishna, to bring joy to Krishna. Krishna seva. Seva means the person you want to serve, you want to please him, you want to bring him joy. So he has a strong desire to please Krishna, to serve Krishna, to glorify Krishna. A sadhu, does he not become angry? Is he not allowed to become angry? Krodha, Krishna dveshi jane. Those who are averse to Krishna, those who are blasphemous to Krishna, he can show his anger. The example again, Hanumanji, he showed tremendous anger and burnt Lanka and did great service of Lord Ramchandra. Lobha, a sadhu should not have lobha. What kind of lobha? Lobha for Hari Katha. For Hari Katha, the lobha is very, very desirable, correct? Moha. Moha means a hankering. A sadhu should not have hankering. What his hankering is, when will Krishna will bless me to become the object of my vision? मोह इष्ट दर्शन बिने, मुझे भगवान के दर्शन अभी तक नहीं मिले, मुझे भगवान से मिलना, कब भगवान से दर्शन? So this moha is for the sadhu. Kam, krodha, loha, moha, mad. Mad means like intoxication. Mat. Unmad mat nityati loka bahya. Evam vrata sva priya nama kiritya jatanuraga druta chitta ucche hasatyati rauditi rauti gayati unmadvat nityati loka bahya. Not caring about the external, what people will think about. He is mat, intoxication in singing and dancing, you know. So that is matata. So these things can be replaced. But the whole idea is this is possible in human form of life. Human being can be modified. That's why he's called man. So that modification is made possible through satsang. So this satsang, if one can keep oneself always in satsang, contemplative about remaining awakened all the times. You have been awakened, now you cannot go back to sleep. Now you cannot demote or go down to the ignorance platform. When you said that we feel very fallen, if a person truly feels fallen, what does it mean? He can fall no further, correct? Do we feel really fallen? If you say that, oh, I have fallen down, I have, like from first floor, somebody, means we have reached our bottom, correct? If we have reached our bottom, what does it mean? We can fall no further. When we realize that I am fallen, there is only one way to go, upward. That's awakening. No more fallen. Jesus Christ told also that lady who came for shelter. People are accusing God that she has done this, committed this sin or that sin. He didn't think of. He said, just sin no more. So when we say, I am fallen, means I can fall no more. I have reached the bottom. That understanding must be sustained. Oh, I am very fallen, I will keep falling. It means you don't think you are fallen. If you have fallen, means you have reached the bottom. Do you think you can go further down? You cannot. So we should not use this word just I am fallen, Prabhu. If I really feel I am fallen, I am no more fallen. See the paradox. See the paradox. If I think I'm so impure, now I have begun purifying, correct? Thinking that I am pure makes me impure actually. Thinking that I am impure begins my journey to full purity. So what state of identification we are? So this feeling that I am fallen means I have been given innumerable opportunities by Godhead to become a pure devotee. I blew all the opportunities. So how many times I have fallen? People in only ignorance think that we fall from the spiritual world. Who falls from the spiritual world? Spiritual world is a absolute realm. No? There are no accidents in the spiritual world. There is no preaching in the spiritual world. There is no killing. Why? Because everybody is fully imbued with love of Krishna. Nobody becomes envious of Krishna there. So every time we blew the opportunity given to us to become a pure devotee, we have fallen. So now think how many times we have fallen. Innumerable times. Is it enough? Enough is enough. Now let us realize that we are fallen. We will fall no more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram. Definitely. Okay. So who would like to lead Kirtan?
Take the morning one.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Shri Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada, Srila Shri Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Shri Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Sai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Sai Gaura. राधा कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा देवी की जय, श्री पंचतत्व गौर निताय की जय, श्री नृसिंह भगवान की जय, लड्डू गोपाल की जय, रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, सभी गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि।
Before we start, can we take a group picture? Sure. Would it be okay with you, Maharaj, if we take a group picture to commemorate this day? Everyone is already sitting right here, and everyone in the back, I can come forward and we're gonna ask Maharaj to get in the middle here.
Okay, so we can wind up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Lord Premanande, Hare Hare.